Ah, Your Excellency. We were eagerly awaiting your arrival. Sister Eugenia was just recounting me the tale of your achievements and telling me about the incredible discoveries you've made.
These relics shed a new light on the last years of our founder. It all demonstrates that he hadn't evangelized the islanders, but, on the contrary, he would even have adopted some of their rituals, merging the cult of the enlightened and the cult of nature in a single dogma.
These discoveries, if they can be verified, are extraordinary. But they also represent a great upheaval that could harm our nation. We must first verify their authenticity. You are the only ones who entered this cave. Could what you have witnessed been a falsification?
We discovered ancient frescoes on the walls of the cave. They represent Saint Matthias without a doubt. He's depicted with his chaplet. In one, he is praying for the divinity of the island. In the other, his face was being painted by a native. I understand how shocking these discoveries are, but their antiquity proves that they are genuine.
The tablets found at the site, however, attest that our founder had not abandoned the cult of the enlightened. He simply saw it as two different reflections of the same divine power.
The cavern we discovered is located in a very remote place. There's no island or village nearby. It contains some ruined dwellings, but clearly no one has lived there for a very long time. Fraudsters would inevitably have left traces of their passage, and we have not found any. The entrance to the cave was protected by one of those giant creatures that the natives call a nardaig. These guardians usually protect sacred places, and let no one enter without a fight. I had to kill this beast, which leads me to think that nobody had entered the cave for a very long time.
The relics could be authentic, Your Excellency, but we only have your word to convince us. The political and religious impact of these discoveries will be unprecedented. We risk schism, civil war, and who is to say that this is not a plan to weaken us?
It seems that you only see the negative aspects of this discovery. But the reality is very different. By integrating some of the natives' beliefs into your dogma, you could build an alliance with them. Something no other nation has managed to achieve before.
It is a good argument, Your Excellency. I hadn't thought about that.
Your Eminence, all of this is grotesque and dangerous. The congregation is clearly trying to ridicule us. Even if these frescoes are real and old, who's to say they represent reality? This is surely the naive vision that the islanders had of our founder, nothing more. Our duty is to bury all this in order to preserve our nation from the heretical beliefs of the savages.
And you have already tried to do that. Brother Virgil, who worked for you, did not hesitate to attack us, and kill several of his colleagues for this purpose.
That's right. And he even tried to blame me to stop me from leading the expedition.
What kind of manipulations and extremes are you willing to go to hide the truth?
Brother Virgil was indeed a member of the Order, but he had obviously descended into madness. This is exactly the kind of effect that such revelations can have, and of which we must be wary.
That's enough, Domitius. An investigation will be launched, and if you were aware of these sabotages, you will answer for it.
Your Eminence, we are faced with a crucial choice for our nation. What does a man of faith do in such a dilemma? He prays and places his trust in the one who came before him and has shown more wisdom. Saint Matthias shows us a new way. If we are believers, can we really turn our backs on him?
You surprise me, Petrus. You who are always so political, yet your words seem sincere. You give me something to think about. Thank you.
If my people knew that the great sage they had long respected is the same man as your saint, and that your priests respected our culture as he did, They would be welcomed here as brothers.
And the Eden we wanted to build would be everywhere. You speak sense, Princess. Does anyone wish to add anything?
I understand your doubts about the future, which are inevitably caused by such a revelation. You hesitate just as St. Lucius did to tell us about the journey of his master. Yet in the end he revealed what he knew, and his words still guide Thélème today.
Thank you for your testimony. I will now retire to think about everything and make my decision. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is my duty to reveal your discoveries to the world. It will take years for our theologians to study all of this, but our dogma must follow the path opened by Saint Matthias.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I would be delighted to help with the study of these relics.
I don't doubt it, my dear. And I would like you to take me to see this cave. I look forward to worshipping at the place where our holy founder ended his days. As for you, Your Excellency, I thank you for the help you have given us. Your sincere insight has encouraged me to make this difficult decision.
It was my pleasure.
Let me also thank you, Your Excellency. Without you, we would still be in the shadows.
The best forge in Tier 3D!
Over there. Tents. This must be the expedition's camp.
This is a rather conspicuous place to set up camp.
Signs of combat. They were attacked. By the look of the tents and the campfire, it dates back several days. It seems that they were taken prisoner. I don't see any bodies. No weapon leaves this sort of marking. Perhaps they're wielding magic.
Yes. It is the art of the Donegada. One of the Valley clans was here.
Would you know which one?
One who fights against the invasion of the peoples from your island. I can be sure of nothing more.
Why would they attack scholars? They are not warriors.
They come here as conquerors. This is enough. But they were not killed. Warriors would have been.
This looks like scientific equipment. This must be the Lost Expedition's campsite. This looks like the journal of a naturalist. There are sketches of flora and fauna. There is no doubt. We are definitely on the trail of the Lost Expedition. It seems that one of the team kept a distance from the others. Let's see what we can discover. A trail of blood. That cannot be good. Follow it.
Lady Enlighten, protect me in this battle! May the shadow engulf our enemies! May the shadow engulf our enemies!
More blood. We are on the right path. Keep going. A corpse. The clothes cannot be mistaken. It is a scholar of the Bridge Alliance. From the looks of him, I would say he has been dead for days, as we already thought. This isn't the woman whose journal we found. There is still a chance that she remains alive.
This man traded his life for all the suffering of my people.
He was only a scholar, a sage, not a warrior on the battlefield.
Do you think my people see a difference when bridgemen steal our people from their beds? From who do you think all the clans hide dead children?
I lean towards Seora's point of view. The practices of these scholars, so-called seekers of knowledge, are barbaric. Taleme would offer you protection and support.
In exchange for our souls. I think we would prefer to go to war.
I'll search the body. We might find something to help us understand. Here is the isolated camp mentioned in the journal. Everything is in order, but the inhabitants are no longer here. Its position would have allowed them to escape the attack.
The view over the valley is magnificent, and makes it difficult for an enemy to approach without being seen.
It is a journal, that of a woman from the expedition, a certain Afra. She speaks of their research and relates here that she felt watched. She feared an attack was brewing. I believe she was right. The writing stops in mid-sentence.
These people of the bridge have either just hatched from eggs or are complete idiots. My people are at war. They do not spare an enemy on the pretext that they are not wearing the clothing of soldiers.
We must follow the tracks of the attack. They will surely lead us to the party of intrepid scholars.
This woman was right to fear the Donea Exregao. They must have followed this path coming from the swamp. This is where we should go if we want to find these lion scholars.
Farweden se lor quaisa. Esto gem nas quel se.
Esrade da orgel amadred quaheluchpom. New siendad ne sunadet.
Smion zem na fravinded? Eskel geleon. Sagnais loyadad de moxhas.
Quelsheded albul rade da degude edunaset. Tranegu essenseni.
Vrigamis sinis radeia. Toik. Arrinmu nes haha.
I'm not here to kill you.
Tell me then, what is your intended purpose?
We were sent to look for you.
Apologies, but allow me to express my doubts.
After this little swim, you could always try to pull the trigger.
Who sent you to find me?
We were not looking for you in particular, but the entire expedition. It was Governor Burham who asked us to find you. He is worried about you. You haven't been reporting.
You should have said that straight away. I must admit, I was hoping for a rescue. Of a different nature. Do you have a name?
Desardet. I'm from the congregation.
The new governor's cousin. Who wears an islander face. I've heard stories about you. And them?
I am Siora, daughter of Bladnid. From the people that your own capture and torture.
I've never taken anyone. On the contrary, we had hoped to exchange our knowledge with your own.
Bishop Petrus, if our young friend hadn't insisted on coming here, I would have gladly let you rot in this marsh.
Behold the charity of the enlightened, huh? This is a rather odd group. I am Afra, a scholar from the Bridge Alliance. It is rather rare to find me rolling in the marshes. I study the fauna and flora of this isle. I should imagine you have many questions.
Have you made progress in your search for a cure?
We were studying some quite remarkable plants when we were attacked. The region is rife in unknown and novel species. Some seem incredibly promising. The local shamans know all these plants and they use them in their remedies. If only we had been able to converse with them rather than getting ourselves captured.
What has happened since the attack? How long have you been in these marshes?
We were taken prisoner and were brought to a village nearby. I was able to escape while the others were taken to a house that they use as a prison. I wanted to join the Bridge Alliance frontier post not far from here, but I wasn't able. So I doubled back to keep watch of the village from a distance. I have been hoping to find a way to free my companions, without any success so far.
We saw the site where you were attacked. What exactly happened?
We were taken by surprise. One moment everything was calm, and the next a war party of natives fell upon us. I had an uneasy feeling and kept myself apart, but when I heard my fellow scholars' shouts, I rushed over. Most of my companions are incapable of defending themselves, and we didn't have guards to protect us. One of them tried to flee, but they brought him down. We decided to give ourselves up to avoid a massacre.
Could you lead us to the village where your colleagues are being held prisoner?
Certainly. We are, oh, so very close. And I fully intend to participate in this rescue. I'm not one to sit around and twiddle thumbs.